the more you drive, the more conservative you are. Just look at the truckers. I think that driving requires a form of responsibility. It requires a sense of awareness. What does it cost? Insurance, gas prices. Where public transit, which can be nice in certain circumstances, I don't think is actually ideal. I think that public transit makes you unaware of the costs or the investment of what is required to get you from point A to point B. Where if you own a car in the suburbs or in the rural areas, you are intimately aware and invested in everything. How much does the car cost? How much does it cost to fill up? Now, when you are thinking about costs, you generally end up being a conservative. A good rule for life is the more you care about costs, the less likely you are to be a leftist. A leftist is someone who does not consciously think about what is the cost.
Can someone please call his studio? Because I think there's a carbon monoxide leak. I think he and his staff are in danger. There's something in the air that is melting their brains, Brett.
These are the smart, I love people that I meet. They're like Charlie Kirk, he's one smart cookie. At this point, they're just trying to see if they can get away with this stupidity. And they're bored. It's your garbage bored. Person. You say all the reasons why he's wrong.
Yeah, I'll say, okay, so my reason is, so not the reason, I'm not gonna give you the reason he's a garbage person. It's clear he's an absolute idiot or whatever. And although he's really bad at this and he produces some of the least compelling content on the right, and the bar is not high, it is amazing how little he has to bring to this show. Like, if he has ever wondered, why does Ben Shapiro have more viewers than me? I don't know, watch your show briefly, man. That was just terrible. And by the way, this is part of kind of a series of, I don't want to say thoughts because it's not that, but the idea that you have to drive, and if you drive, you become a conservative, is a similar thought to Charlie Kirk claims tall buildings make people liberal, which I swear was not produced by an AI chatbot. That's a thing that he said too. If we could bring up the screenshot, you'll see. And he says, I believe we need to build horizontally, not vertically. It's one of my speeches. Developers don't like it when I say this, but it's true. The higher the building, the more liberal the voter. It just is. And then I think he laid down on the stage and went to sleep. I don't know what happened after that. They're not sending their best.
They're just trying to see if they can get away with it. You see it on Tucker too. He like when he puts together things, they're just trying to see how much they can snow their already snow white base. Like, Charlie, what if I told you that the people who drive cars have more money, and most people who take public transportation are doing so because they are wildly aware of the cost of things, and they have to be, and they have to mind how much they're spending on things, so they take the less expensive mode of transportation. For other people in New York City, like, it makes more sense to take the subway than it does to drive places. You total doink. Maybe it is the case that the more conservative you are, it's because you can silo yourself off from everyone else. And you don't have to, the richer you are, the more money you have, you can buy luxuries that mean you don't have to interact with other people. You don't have to empathize, you don't have to do squat, except, and you, Charlie, you're accepting millions and millions of dollars from reports I've read to say this stuff, to just see if you can get away with it, to propagandize and to groom America's youth. That's what Turning Point is. It is a grooming mechanism to turn otherwise empathetic, innocent children into scum-sucking vampire conservatives.
Have you read the bill, Disney? And the answer is no, or maybe they have, but here's the thing. Is Disney and Bob Chapek, they're held hostage by their gay employees. It's just that simple. They are. They're in the creative world, and I'm not accusing them of this, just the way it is. They're in the arts and entertainment, and there's a disproportionate amount of gay people that work in that community. And so they're making a huge mess of it. And so Disney is pandering to their employees because they don't want more employee walkouts. They still need to keep their movie production on time. And they know, I mean, it would basically be like Remington, or it would be like any major ammunition manufacturer basically not coming out against an anti-gun bill. Again, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. It's the way it is. Disney has a lot of gay people that work for them. Now, for whatever reason, these gay people feel really motivated, the employees of Disney, that 6-year-olds need to learn about their incredibly graphic sexual activity. Why that's a concern? I don't know. It's creepy and it's weird.
The fact that he is pretending to have that concern is, in fact, creepy and weird. No one is teaching 6-year-olds incredibly graphic sexual stuff about anything. About gay people, about straight people. Acknowledging that gay families, that gay individuals exist, gay parents exist, is not graphically sexual. Any more so than me telling you right now, I have straight parents. Did I offend the censors there? Was that too graphic for you? And he knows that. Even Charlie Kirk, with his massive skull and his tiny brain ensconced in the absolute center of it, understands that. Or maybe he doesn't, honestly. I don't know which is worse, and I don't want to give him more credit than he deserves. But he knows that none of this is about graphic sexual content. This is about basic acknowledgement of people's fundamental humanity. And their base does not accept that. This is not about like a chart of different sexual positions. There's nothing graphic about this. This is about identifying that people exist. That's it. It's so gross.
Did you say he had a massive skill or a massive skull?
Which do you think? And again, I don't care. The proportions of his face are a little bit interesting, but they're the least bad part about him. I would wear a hat a lot too. If I were, anyway, it's not, I don't want to focus on that. I don't want to get off track. They're already doing enough to distract us from what's really happening. But anyway, that clip that we just showed you is bad. Sabrina's having all sorts of issues with her camera these days. But anyway, that clip that we just showed you is bad enough. But that he's mostly just lying. He mostly just doesn't seem to care that they have gay employees that up until this point they've completely ignored for decade after decade after decade.